Hey, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, or hello. How about that? Hey, welcome to another session of Conversations with Geoff. Ooh-wee. Oh, look, I'm going to tell you now, stay here, don't go anywhere. I know you don't want to hear me, but listen, you want to hear who I got coming up. I got to tell you something. You see her, she's going to light up the camera with that smile and then her message. Don't want to miss it, so don't go away. And let me thank all of you that have been supporting us along the way, sharing and subscribing, and welcome all the new folks that are stopping by and then hanging out with us. Conversations with Geoff, as we feel, is just a vessel, right? And where our mission is to help people become aware of the power and then use some tools to begin to change the conversation they're having with themselves about themselves. Right? You know that conversation. We like to say in our community, stinking thinking. Oh, I can't do this, or oh, maybe I'll do this, or oh, I've tried and it didn't work before. I'm tired. You know, all those things that set us up. So, for those of you that are here, welcome, and understand that those things, we all have them somewhere in our lives. And the beautiful part about it is we all can make a difference and we all can change. Our mission, again, is to change the conversation you're having with yourself about yourself. And my name is Geoff Tyson, and I am the host of this. And I'm known as the comeback king, baby, because I struggled with that conversation early on in my life, man. I got some tools to help me set aside I can, and I changed it to I can, and maybe to I will, and then I think to I must. Not only in athletics, but in business and relationships, community and health, right? So we talk about those four things. So look, listen to me. If you have stinking thinking, you're in the right place. If you don't think you have stinking thinking, you're in the right place, all right? Because we are open arms to everybody that's looking for a place where they can settle in, not be judged, right? And learn some things from some folks like I got coming up for you. But before I do, I want to make sure that I ask you this. Your role and your job is to participate. When you hear this message, let us know who you are, where you're coming from, what resonates with you. If you have any questions around that or you need more information, you'll have information to get with our guests and with me if that's what you want to do. And we only ask that you participate. Stay with us, subscribe, share this information, be a part of the 1 million people. That's our mission. 1 million people can be reached just by one conversation we all have with somebody different every day. So be a part of that mission. And remember, no more stinking thinking, right? All right, so hey, listen, I'll give you some homework when we're finished, so don't go away. But let me just kind of give a quick highlight of our upcoming guest. She's fabulous, Camille Robb. She's the founder and CEO. I'm going to read this because this woman has done a lot of amazing things. So just hang in there with me. Don't go away, please. She's the CEO of Fabulous Care Corp, JFC for You Incorporated, mentor, teacher, global speaker, entrepreneur, TV host, podcaster, philanthropist, motivational speaker, global mom, investor, and author. She's advocated for children for over 25 years and has the ability to care for newborns, interact with a toddler, mentor a teenager, and make the elderly smile all in one day. Amazing energy. She has owned and operated student college programs and hosted students from around the world, from China to Peru and many other countries. She's used her skills to create secure and nurturing environment while operating each student, by supporting each student to achieve their educational goals. Boy, and our students need it. I mean, oh man. Fabulous Camille Robb has been featured twice on USA Today, the Los Angeles Tribune, Honoree Magazine, GLEBM Magazine, featured in news, local and global, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Ladies and gentlemen, let me just bring to our stage our guest today, our fabulous Camille Robb. Hey. What's up, my friend?
How are you? How are you doing, Mr. King? How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm excited to hear more about you and bring your beautiful smile to our audience and our community. You know, I just, man, we're fortunate to have it. That's for sure. That's for sure. So,
Blessed to be here with you, and thank you so much. I appreciate this.
yeah, I hope so. And, you know, we were talking backstage, and, you know, like we said earlier, folks know us. We just got to get into it, right? And you know, you said something earlier about you were feeding kids before you had kids.
Yes, I was feeding kids before I had kids.
Hmm.
I was doing that.
How did you find yourself in that space? You know, what was that about?
So, hi guys. My name is Fabulous Camille Robb, but I'm best known as the Fabulous Global Mom because I provide education, food, clothes, and shelter for children around the world. So, to answer your question, I grew up in Jamaica, and at one time, food was a problem for me. And as a child, I had to figure it out.
Hmm.
And I made up my mind that if I ever get the opportunity, I will make sure not one child go without food. And I transitioned from Jamaica to the United States, and I found out that not only food was a problem, education was a problem.
Yeah.
So being 17 when I got here, trying to figure out stuff, wanting to go to school. When I reached 18, I wanted to go to school, get ready to go to college, and I had a hard time. Nobody wouldn't help me.
Hmm.
They wouldn't help me. So as a typical Jamaica, I had three jobs. So one of the jobs,
I'm Uncle here. Yeah, I can see him now, boy. Uncle Joe.
yes, one of the job I was working at a daycare center,
Hmm.
and I was supposed to be just a substitute, and I don't know what happened to the teacher that was supposed to stay, and I
Yeah.
was supposed to be her assistant. Didn't happen. 27 children in the classroom with me by
Wow.
myself. And I'm telling you, these children were very cute. You ever see the movie Gremlin?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. They're nice and fluffy.
Yeah.
But when that water hit them, when
Yeah.
hunger hit them,
Yeah.
they
Oh
became these little,
my.
and it was then I started.
Wow.
I realized because I've seen that before. My brothers went through it
Yeah.
when we were trying to figure it out when we were young. And I
Yeah.
came here and the same thing happened. I said, okay, now I can be the solution. And when I would get my check, I go every week, I would go to the store and I would pick up easy fixing food, fruits, vegetables. And I used to buy those little pancakes, those little pancakes and sausage. And I used to cut them up real small. And when we get in the classroom, I would say to them, okay, we're going to go get washed up and we're going to eat, but you cannot tell anybody about this because they will take the food away from us.
Oh
And
wow.
that was the rule. We weren't at the school, we weren't allowed to feed anybody's children.
Yeah.
But those kids were so humble and got so quiet. And once I fed them, they were ready to learn.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh
Wow.
my God.
Ooh, I get goosebumps because my daughter tells me about. She teaches now in fourth grade, and the kids that are hungry and
Mhm.
other things, but just the hunger piece. And we joke about being what hangry now. I think that's the new
Mhm.
thing. But it's so real.
It is.
Wow. Thank you for that. So you're feeding the kids. You get them back from that furry creature back to themselves.
Yes. Because if, if you're hungry, you're angry. And if you're angry, you cannot focus, you cannot learn. So that was one of my thing with the children. I had to make sure that they were filled up so then they can empty out their brain and learn from me. And I'm telling you, my children, they were amazing. They were amazing. Once I got into the rhythm of feeding them,
Yeah.
oh my God. Everything was like clockwork. Everything was just falling into place. They were just, oh, then you just fall in love with them because, 27 kids, 27 different personality.
Yeah. Yeah. And now you probably had something else really kind of unique. Your classroom, your group was probably the only ones that were fed.
They was. And the teachers started asking me, why is my kids are so quiet? Why are you kids so quiet? And then you couldn't tell them because if you tell them, they're going to fire you.
Yeah.
In trouble. So I had to keep my mouth shut. And I said, well, I just give them extra loving.
Yeah, and that's true. It's called food, right? Oh man, Camille, again, I'm so close to the school, so I hear that. Oh, so you're doing that, and you're starting to realize after a while that what came after that for you? Where'd you go next?
Well, what came after that with them? I decided to leave the school because I wanted to do something bigger and better. And then I got married. I got married to my husband that I met when I was 10 years old. We grew up together.
Okay. All right.
And that's another story by itself. And then I end up with a daughter. And he didn't want me to work. But I tell him I have to work. And I was a nurse. I went to school for nurse. So I used to work at night. So when she goes down to sleep, I would disappear.
Yeah.
And I would work. And he would be home at night. And when I wake up, so she really didn't know that I was gone because she was asleep. When she comes in, when she wakes up, I'm looking after breakfast for her. And I used to homeschool her because it was so expensive for daycare.
Yeah. Yeah, that's nice.
But when she hit 2 years old, she had more knowledge than I could handle. So I had to figure it out. So for 2 years, when I found a school that would accept her because she was capable. She took the test and she passed. And she was she was 2 years old and her brain was clocking a 5-year-old.
Wow.
And the teacher, she said, I will take care of her, I'll observe her, and I will give her what she needs. I was so blessed.
Wow.
Miss Wilder was her name, and she took my daughter and made my daughter into the little genius that she is. And I say, I want to do that for other children. I want to be able to give that, especially when it comes to that learning part of a child. Their brain is empty and they're ready to learn, and I want to be that part.
Yeah.
And then my son shows up.
Oh. Watch out now. I gotta stand up for the fellas.
No, I'm telling you, he was very unique.
I've been called that too, so go ahead. I'll let you slide.
He was very unique. My daughter was very calm. I could leave her and go and upstairs and come, and she was still downstairs. Just my son, you leave him, I guarantee you, all your pots gonna be out on the floor, and he's gonna be billing some form of.
Yeah. Oh man.
He got into everything, so he was very, very, very active. So I was still working at night, and my husband said it's time for him to have, start learning apart from me. And I'm like, okay, well, let's put him in a daycare. We happen to have a daycare next door. Where I lived at the time. And we brought him over there, and he lasted 3 days.
I was gonna say,
my husband picked him up. My son he didn't take a pacifier. He came home with a pacifier pinned onto his shirt. His nose, the poor baby couldn't breathe because he picked up some germs from the daycare.
Yeah.
And my husband came in and he said, let me tell you something. This is my son. And you already told me you're not having any more children. And I'm not going to go to jail. So you need to figure this out. Because I didn't know our son was sucking a pacifier. I didn't know that our son, and he started going down the list of problems he found when he picked up his son. And he said, figure it out, baby. You got to figure this out. And I said,
Wow.
okay. I said, well, if she have a daycare, I can build a daycare too. So
Yeah.
no problem. I went to school for that too.
Wow.
Everything that they had, I wanted it. And I opened my own daycare.
Wow. So if there's an issue, you don't complain about it. You just fix it. You do the
Yes.
next thing. I love that.
I solved the problem.
Solve the problem.
Yeah. I am the solution to the
All
problem.
the solution to the problem.
Yes, sir.
Don't back away. Those of you out there that listen to what she's saying, please. There's no hesitation in the thought process and her actions. So anyway, go ahead. I just amazing. I love that. You know, that's not why does this happen to me. Is what is this supposed to teach me?
That's what it does.
Yeah.
You see, a lot of people always see every situation as a problem. They don't see it as a lesson.
Yeah. Yeah.
See, my grandmother, I grew up with her. I've never seen this woman angry.
Mm.
You know, not at me anyway.
Yeah.
My uncle, yeah. She didn't get angry. She didn't get angry. She just looked at him, grab him, and buck him. Let him go.
Oh, go ahead, Granny. I got you.
Oh, she
It is great.
look at you, the eyebrow go up, and it's on.
Game over. Yes.
Game over.
Yes.
And she always said, in every action, there's a reaction.
Mm.
But you have to be the one, the bigger person, she always said. Be the bigger person.
Mm.
And don't retaliate.
Yeah.
Step back, go inside your inner peace, talk to God, and God will show you what you need to do. That's how she taught me. And to this day, I told her every time she passed away. So I tell her, I said, listen, because of you, I think God gave me too much patience. And I needed him to take some of that back. Because sometimes when people do stuff, you want to just.
Yes, yes, yes. I know.
But you can't, because the world needs a lot of love. The world needs a lot of love.
It really does, Camille, you know, and your smile. I mean, how we met, you know, because of COVID, everything else, you know, I found myself in the digital platform, and I saw you know, on the screen that had hundreds of faces. And, you know, I remember thinking, man, I need to find out who this lady is. Because I felt the warmth and the love from the smile, right? I mean, and my wife and I talk about it all the time. Hey, let's make sure we smile more to people. Let's make sure we say hi more to people, Camille. I mean, and that's what your presence does without even speaking. So anyway.
And that smile that I have on my face,
Yes.
my grandmother, she said, I remember one day I was inside and I didn't want to go to church because, you know, church, remember we were talking, church started in the morning. And we go to church 7 days a week and twice on Sunday. That was my grandmother.
Yeah.
I came out one day and I was like, and she grabbed me and pulled me back. I had all these lace and the stuff and they were itching. And she's like, what's wrong with you? I'm like, what did I do? She said, go back inside and go wash your face and look in the mirror and go find your smile. And I was like, you know, you're a kid. You're saying, this lady crazy.
Yeah.
I went back inside. I did what I was told. I washed my face and I look in the mirror. And then I just started laughing. I came back out and she said, that's what I want to see. Yeah. She said, your smile doesn't belong to you, sweetie. Smile belongs to the world. And that smile on your face will bring light to someone else. So please, wear your smile every day, no matter how you feel, because someone needs your smile. And I was like, okay.
Wow.
But now that I'm older, I understand what she's saying.
Yeah. And you're doing it. I mean, that's who you become.
Yes. She created me this way.
Yes.
She created me
Wow.
this.
Wow. Yeah. I'm taking notes, by the way. I mean, I think it's so important. Where your smile belongs to others, I believe you said.
That's it. Your smile doesn't belong to you, it belongs to the world.
Mm-hmm. So you're doing all these things, and life's not always a bowl of cherry, right?
No.
So what tell us, as you're going through the journeys and you're finding these kids, what was one of the turning points that we don't know about that could probably help some other folks
One of the turning point with me is when I was growing up and my brothers needed to eat. And I don't really tell anybody about it because at one time when I said it, my family were like, "Why are you telling people that?" I'm like, "Well, my story will help someone else." Because a lot of people go to trials and tribulation and they don't say anything. They keep it to themselves and it eats you up. And I found out that when you have issues and you keep it to yourself and you not talk about it, it develop in all kind of disease.
Yes.
Your subconscious would eat you up. You end up, that's why people end up with cancer. That's why people end up with liver problem and kidney problem and all that stuff. And I refuse to have any of those things on me. So I tell my story. So one of my turning point is that when I was growing up and I had to figure out how to feed my brothers. So in Jamaica, they feed their dogs very well, very well.
Yeah.
So turn cornmeal with chicken and sweet potatoes, all that stuff is in the food that they give the dogs, right? So my brothers were fussing and crying and carrying on, and I was used to it because I know it was time for them to eat,
Yeah.
and we didn't have anything, nothing. And next door, I know every time the guy next door get ready to feed their dogs, I used to play with the dogs, so they were my friends.
They were good. Yeah.
I made friends with everybody. I don't care who you are. I make friends with everybody.
I love it.
And
Yeah.
then I went and I moved the fence. So you have a zinc fence and you have
Hmm.
a barbed wire in between.
Okay.
And I moved the zinc fence and I pull up the barbed wire. I put my bowl, my little red bowl in my dress, and I went underneath there and I sat down with my bowl and I just smile at the dogs. And they're playing and they let me eat before they eat.
Wow.
And I took the food, put it back in the bowl, wrap it up with my dress, slid back underneath the barbed wire fence, put it back. Nobody knew I was there. Came in. My brothers didn't care where the food come from.
Yeah. That's it.
They ate, and when they ate, the place was quiet.
Yeah.
There was no crying, there was no fussing, everything was just calm. And then they went to sleep. You see, that right there, when you're hungry and you swallow, the first swallows are okay. But after a while, Jeff, it tastes like cotton. You eating cotton. Your saliva tastes like cotton. And I remember that pain. And I said to myself, anytime I get the opportunity and I know if there's a child near or far me that need to eat, I will provide food.
Mm.
And I've done that
Mm.
because there's so many children out there, and especially here in the United States, where we have so much food that we throw away
Yeah.
that don't have it.
Yeah.
I don't care who don't like me, who don't care about, but that's what I love to do. I love to feed the needs of others, especially children, because those little seeds are our future.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm just letting the whole mood just follow us. Thank you for being bold. Thank you for being brave. Thank you for sharing that message. The world needs to hear that message. I mean, I saw you in your dress. I saw you moving the fence. I felt and dogs are amazing. That animal. There's something going really amazing around.
They know. They
They
know.
know.
They know.
They really know.
Yes, they do.
I don't study them. I just experience them. Right?
And I experienced them.
Yeah, yeah. They know, Camille. And I just sat there. There was a blue skies. Put that on there and the green around it, and you went back. Wow. Mm. I was thinking to myself, there's got to be a reason for her to be so committed to this. And you just shared.
Yeah.
Wow. It's always that. When it's real, when it's meant to help people, it's always either something we've learned or gone through.
Yeah.
And I realize others need help in. Wow. Well, we could stay in this space for a while because I know there was other things. And so, I mean, how old were you when you did that?
When I did that, I think I was about 9 or 10. My age at that time, I was so caught up in trying to fix everything. So between the age of 7 and 10, that happened to me.
17.
Yeah.
And your grandmother you were already living through her.
Yeah.
You were
I
her.
was at the time when that happened, I was taken away. My mom was young, so she was trying to figure out life herself as a young girl.
Yeah.
So I'd never blamed my mom for this.
Right.
She was doing the best that she could with what she had and how she knew best.
Yeah.
And today I have a beautiful relationship with my mother,
Mm.
and she loves me. She doesn't like to hear the story because as a kid, she blocked that out of her head.
Yeah. Yeah.
She doesn't, she just blocked it out of her head. And I tell her, it's okay. I'm going to tell my story.
Yes. And each time you tell and share your story, she may not tell hers, but she gets a little more peace. I believe it.
And that's what I say. I said, that's exactly what I said. I said, I'll speak for you. I
Yeah.
know you might not like what is said, but that's what happened.
Yeah.
But you were doing the best you can with what you had.
Yeah.
So
Ooh, 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 ooh.
it's just never give up. That's the thing. Never give up. And not because you were treated wrong, you treat somebody wrong. Because the world that we live in is tick for tack. No, we're human beings. And we all need a chance. And that's my job, is to help as many children as possible. That's my job.
Mm. Well, listen, you are doing that. I mean, I see you in doing things, and you're part of organizations, and you're reaching out across the world. And, and, and we want to make sure that we bring you back, and maybe you talk about a program that you have that people can learn from. You know, I know you have something there that we can kind of get ready and promote and bring folks together. Because I'm sitting here and I'm thinking about my grandbabies, right, and their families and the legacies that we talk about leaving and building, and it's really, really just an amazing opportunity to do some things. So I want to kind of wind this thing up, Camille. I mean, we could talk forever. So tell us. I want to. We talked earlier. You are the fabulous global mom. But the word fabulous, how did you feel about that at one point? Today you are.
So my grandmother gave me that name, but when I was younger, I didn't think that name was good enough. I wasn't qualified to carry that name because you look up that name, it tells you how powerful that name is. And I said, nah, that's not me. Mm-mm. And then after dealing with all my children, my daycare life and stuff, and one my we were talking about a name, and he said, "Well, you're fabulous." And the name came back and it hit me in my heart, and I'm like, my God! And I remember my grandmother used to say, when she said, when you were born, you had this beautiful gummy smile, and she said, "You're going to be a fabulous little girl." And I'm so glad God gave me this gift. And I was like, that's me. That's my name. That is my name. And now I know who I am. I am the fabulous Camille Robb.
Yes, 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 yes. And I agree. And it's been a fabulous time, Camille, spending with you today. So how do people get a hold of you before we wrap this up? You know,
Well, for the people who want to participate in what I do, you can do two things. You can find me on any social media, or you can text me. My husband says, stop giving out your phone number because you're going to get calls from all kind of crazy people. I say, it's my phone. I can answer it if I want to. But on social media, you can find me. JustFabulousCare.com is my exchange student program. And my nonprofit, I finally decided to get one after doing this by myself with my husband for over 20 something years.
amazing.
JFCforyou.com. So just fabulous care for you. So it's JFCFORYOU.com. And you could go and volunteer, you could go and donate, and let's make a difference in someone else's life. See, I can't feed everyone, but everyone can feed someone. And it starts with
Ooh, ooh, I love that. I love that. Hey, listen, my friend, it's been a pleasure. And thank you for brightening up my day, guest day. We really look forward to having you back here again. Thank you so much.
anytime. Thank you so much for taking time out to invite me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I love it. We'll talk to you soon.
All right. Blessings, my brother.
Blessings back to you. Thank
You're welcome.
you. Ooh, hey, look, I told you. I mean, I don't want, I want you to feel what she's left us with. So I'm just going to ask you to do two things. Remember, she can't feed everyone, but we each can feed one child. So take this message out there, begin to understand the power of influence that we have, and let's all follow what this young lady is doing and be a part of something amazing. So your homework today is no more I can't, I can. No more I think, I will. No more maybe, I must. No more stinking thinking. Share and subscribe this. Make sure you connect with Camille. And everybody have a great day. And look. The possibilities are now. There's no better time than now to gain control of your life. There's no better time than now to stop the stinking thinking. Join this community and let's work together to feed these kids. All right. We'll see you on the next show. Take care, baby.